Feast your ears on this audible orgasm that we're about to present.
Hello, faithful listeners. Welcome to episode 12 of the CRC GP podcast. Thanks for tuning in. This episode was a little weird on how we structured it, so we're going to get things started with a conversation about the RC213V-S, Honda's prototype yet production release bike that they still haven't made. And Kevin really wanted to know our feelings of it before we started recording, but we got some pretty good stuff, so let's dive right into that.
Do you want to save it for the episode?
Nah, just real quick. Are you guys like into it, or I don't know? I was kind of let down by it.
They've only
What are you
made
let
one,
down by?
so I haven't passed judgment yet. They've only made one.
Right, and even then, I don't know if they're going to make any more. Because my long-standing thing is it's actually not going to come out.
Yeah, which is hilarious. I mean,
What are you let down by, Kevin?
I don't know. Like it seems so. Like it's so long in the making, right? I've been talking about it for for years, right? And it just seems like there's no signature technological thing. Like they, Nakamoto and them said it was going to be like a thing for their engineers to stretch their muscles, and it was going to be like a centerpiece. And then it's like, oh, it's a production Honda with steel brakes and no pneumatic valves. And I don't know. To me, it's like it doesn't come across as like, holy fuck, this is a MotoGP bike. I don't know. Nothing about it screams to me like 2013, 2015 MotoGP bike.
well, I mean,
I get it that it's cool and all, but I feel like it's just missing that one thing,
Well,
and it's got like 100 horsepower.
I feel like you're saying that the delivery is what killed it for you. Like someone could say a great joke, but if they don't deliver it properly, it's going to be terrible.
It's like a letdown, right? Exactly, and it's I don't know, and I'm kind of bummed it does. Like I still like the NR, right? The NR 750 had the oval pistons and 4 fucking valves per cylinder. It wasn't the greatest bike ever, but it was like this technological masterpiece that really showed Honda as the engineering company. And then like the RC45 was the homologation special, and at the time the single-sided swing arm and gear-driven cams and all that stuff on a street bike was like, whoa, what the fuck? Or like even the Rune. Remember the Rune, how ridiculous that bike was?
I have no idea what that is.
Like
No,
Cruiser
the
muscle
like
bike.
weird modern arts Valkyrie cruiser thing they made. It was like 50 grand. It was purple. It was crazy looking. You don't remember that?
I remember it.
Like
remember.
that, right? A guy commutes on one and he passes me like 3 times a week. I think it's hilarious. He commutes on it. It's so weird. But like to me, like the coolest thing about it is it looks like it has really nice paint. You know what I mean? Like those pictures, I'm like, damn, they got some quality paint on that bike. But other than that, I'm like, oh,
You can buy it in bare carbon, which I think will be cooler.
yeah, I don't know, maybe, but
No, my opinion on the RC213V-S or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little jaded right now, but I still like the Desmos D16RR better. I think it
right,
looks,
me too. Right, totally better.
Yeah, I mean, it looks better. I mean, I guess I have to see the Honda in person, but just shape-wise. But yeah, I'm not really like, I don't know, I'm not too stoked about the Honda whatsoever.
It's like you two are
I don't
both
know, I just-
disappointed that it was actually just the production Honda bike. Like with the Desmos Cedici, right? It was something that wasn't competed on, but it was still like a low production, almost prototype bike. It was
Well, that's the
something.
thing is,
But it was,
it's
and
not
that was,
even
it was.
that.
Remember, it was still made by Ducati Corse. They hand cast they sand cast the covers and all that stuff. So it was still a limited run, handmade MotoGP derivative bike.
Yeah,
But it still had 200 horsepower.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it came with a race system you could put on. This thing's at 100 horsepower and you can't get it. It's like, I don't know. To me, it's like give it the MotoGP frame, the MotoGP gearbox, all that, and then just give it the best ass. Again, it's not really an engineering feat if you just take a MotoGP engine and choke it down to meet emissions. Fuck that, Honda. Like you're always talking about high efficiencies and emissions, and you killed two strokes, and the NCX gets 90 miles a gallon. Give me a fucking MotoGP bike that has fucking super crazy good efficiencies and has 180 horsepower.
Yeah, I think the most effort they actually did for this bike was casting a new top case so that they could fit a starter to it.
Right.
Like that was the only thing. Oh, and they had to weld on a bracket for the kickstand on the frame.
Right, and the handlebar or the mirrors are kind of cool. They're like the guard levers turned into mirrors. The lever guards.
That is the only thing on the bike.
Is there a price release yet for the
$185,000?
Yep. Which isn't as bad as we expected. I was expecting like.
Well, do you guys remember how much the Suzuki was?
The Desmo Suzuki was only like 65 or 70.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It was like 65,000 euros though, wasn't it? So it was a little more.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I thought it was US dollars.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
I think it was US dollars.
A third the price then.
Yeah, but even then, like, I don't care that it's super. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you buy a Desmo Suzuki for $25,000 if it was offered to you used?
Me, no, because I don't like to put things on debt, but that would be cool.
Bringing up fucking credit card debt.
Right.
And no, I wouldn't.
Say you had $25,000 in disposable cash, and somebody's offering you a used Desmo Suzuki, which probably still has the warranty from Ducati. Would you buy it?
Yeah, probably. If you're telling me someone gives you $25,000 to blow, and that's one of the options, that's a serious consideration.
What about you, Rob?
No.
In all honesty, I want the MH900E. If you guys remember that from 2000.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Ducati dream bikes, the Desmo Suzuki is not on my top 3 for Ducati dream bikes, but it's a fucking sweet ass bike.
I think I've seen one of those Ducatis at Thunder Hill one time. It looks very familiar. Not
the Mike Halewood bike?
The MH900. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy either. If I had $25,000, I'd try and swindle myself a Moto 2 chassis. But that's just me. I'm weird.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just get an old Suitor chassis, like a 2013 one.
I feel like I could get like Heron's old bike for like less than 40.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Plus, I'm kind of let down by like the Honda one. You could like go buy an RSV4 Aprilia, and that's like kind of a MotoGP bike.
Yeah, but for me, the only unobtainium part is the chassis. And you were literally paying for 50 hours of welding on that thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, that's the only deal. Like,
I like that dipshit that's talking to you about how a robot should have done it too. That fucking guy.
Yeah, that's what happens when you make like what they probably make like 25, 30 a year of those chassis.
Right.
Of one kind. Yeah, you don't get a robot to do that, and functionally they're the same. Like, it's not like the robot is going to make better welds.
No.
Otherwise, if the welds were significantly better, then HRC would have a robot do it, because they spend like $65 million a year on development. Or million.
Right, and they're getting their asses handed to them. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we get to talk about that. So should we segue into to
Let's do it.
Because I've been recording the whole time, so Dennis, you can just cut in an intro later.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, just do the intro now.
No, it's cool. Don't worry about it. We're already just have at it. Keep going with the segue.
Yeah. So.
All right. Fuck it.
Marquez is.
We'll do it live.
What did you say?
We'll do it live. You don't know what I'm talking about? We'll do it live.
No, I was.
Well, one of you is drunk. The other one is talking high. I'm not even sure how the two of you can have a conversation right now.
I feel like Kevin gets his cats high, but I don't know if you smoke all that much.
You know what I know about me? If we're recording, I've never smoked weed, not once.
Never? Not once?
Never once. I've never inhaled. I'm like Bill Clinton, nigga.
Actually, same thing here. I've never done it. I've never tried it.
Oh man, you're not
neither
that much. Alcohol is so much more fun.
Exactly. I just read a thing online about how alcohol and sex makes you happier than like kids and religion.
It's religion.
Well, that's not surprising at all. Why did anyone have to do a study on that?
I don't know.
Whatever. Marquez is getting his butt handed to him. Back on topic.
Right. Okay, we're good. We're talking about Marquez here crashing again.
Yeah, so he crashed again. He did.
And he basically so hold on, I got to get in mode. Without Dennis doing the intro, I can't get in my flow. I need like a starter pistol. I need my flow.
Dennis, do the intro.
Rob, do the Rob, do an intro.
God damn it.
Yeah, I want you to MC again.
No.
Right.
Oh God. All right. Where's my beer?
MC this like you're Dre, and this is 1985, and it's NWA.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
What? Well, this is episode 12.
Yeah.
I am such a bad podcaster. That's not even a thing. All right, I'm gonna.
Episode 12 of the Kevin and Rob Experience featuring Dennis.
There you go.
There, Kevin did the intro. All right, everyone.
There's our intro, bitches. There's our intro. Settle down, people, ladies and gentlemen, for your exactly. Feast your ears on this audible orgasm that we're about to present.
Oh, beautiful. All right, Kevin said it all. Welcome to episode 12 of the Kevin and Rob Show featuring Dennis. If you haven't noticed, Dennis is back. He's graced us with his presence once again. So
the prodigal son has returned.
thank you, Dennis, for finding time in your busy schedule to come talk to us.
For shizzle. Word.
Hey, Dennis, thanks for taking time out of your schedule to come do the thing that you decided to get us to do.
It's what I do. I urge people. I push you. I walk you to the door, but then you walk the door on your own.
Okay, you can teach a man to fish. Is that what you're coming with?
Yeah, so I'm trying to put like a modern spin to it, you know.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it's working, right? We're on episode.
Now go fish, bitches.
Okay, go fish. I'm going fish. I'm calling for my the Marquez of spades. Oh wait, he crashed out. He's not there anymore.
Oh, perfect segue. So yeah, I mean, we will cover World Superbike eventually, but I think we've got a lot of GP content to discuss.
Well, here's the thing, right? I'm gonna cut Rob off because no one likes him anyway. So he basically said he was going to crash, right? Like fucking what's his name, that idiot from Moto Matters. He posted like on his Twitter that Marquez told him that he was either going to win or crash trying to stay with the Yamahas because a racer doesn't like settle. He basically said like, look assholes, I'm going to crash this bike and that's just what's going to happen. Like he called his shot and crashed out.
Wait, did he say?
At what point is Honda like, dude, stop crashing?
He actually said that before the race and not after, because I know he definitely said it after.
No, I posted the fucking picture that I stole from Tumblr, who stole it from Emmett, and because that's how the internet works. I posted it as original content. So everyone steal this podcast. He basically said like, I'm gonna try and keep up with the Yamahas or I'm gonna crash. Or how about there's only 2 Yamahas, so just get a podium?
Yeah, I mean, he's worried. He was worried about the point gap, right? Like he knows that he needs to win consistently. He needs to pull the same stuff that he did at the beginning of last year and go on a long streak of wins to claw back all those points. But unfortunately, the hardware is just not there, and it's not going to happen.
Right, to me it was, you need to actually get some points, get back in the game, because look what happened. He was behind Dovi, then Dovi crashes out twice. He needs to wait for Lorenzo or Rossi to have their eventual fluke day or bad weekend or crash or whatever, and instead he's given both those guys such a cushion that they might not have that now because they're not gripping. Rossi and Lorenzo both know Marquez isn't out, and if he wins, it doesn't matter to them. They only know what the other guy's doing, and you can settle like for a second or a third to maintain. There's like that's what Rossi did last race. He knew he couldn't catch Lorenzo; he was too far behind. So let me get a second because I'm in it for the long haul. Podium every race and win when I can. We're going Zug and we're going hard.
But Kevin, do you really think that Marquez, has the capacity to do that, to just settle?
Well, I mean, he's in 5th in the championship. He's already forced to settle. There's no championship anymore. But as far
exactly. Yeah. He settled for no title. Like it's gone. And is getting a podium really? You're telling me he didn't have podium pace? He's faster than fucking Dani on the bike, and Dani's hurt. Like, he easily, if he stuck with it and put his nose down and just finished the race and got third, get a podium, get it back on track. You can't build a title run by just suddenly winning constantly. I mean, you can if you're Lorenzo, because that's exactly what he did, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to say is, like, get your podium, get back on the horse. You know what I mean? Get on there, get some hardware, and then start working off of it.
I mean, I don't know if
I just don't think that he had
operates
the maturity or the mental capacity right now to operate that way. I mean, he's still relatively young. He's got 2 back-to-back world titles. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Who have you asked Stoner, he basically lucked into. That was a sweet comment that everyone glossed over.
What are you talking about?
Well, Stoner did that.
Stoner just straight up said that when Marquez got lucky with his titles.
Yeah, which
I missed that.
I missed it. We'll get back to that. But wait, I don't think. I mean, Dennis, you're saying that Marquez doesn't have the capacity to settle for a podium. I think that Marquez he doesn't actually need to get back into podium contention before he can win again. Like, I don't feel like he's like Jorge, where he has confidence issues, and if he doesn't like ramp up into it, then he's never going to be able to win, right? Because that's what we see. Like, Jorge needs some good finishes, and then he needs to get a win, and then he can kind of get rolling. Whereas with Marquez, I feel like he could bounce around between win and crash and win and crash, and it won't matter one bit as long as the bike is there.
All I'm saying is that from where I stand, I just think that I'm personally not surprised with the win it or bin it attitude. Just given how young the guy is and what he's achieved in such a short amount of time, there's that kind of red mist in front of him, and he's just gonna go for it. So even if he talks with his crew prior to the race weekend, prior to the race, and they formulate a plan, once the red light goes out, it's all out the window, and he's just always gonna be 100% trying to make up that much by winning. And all I'm saying is I'm not surprised at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, I'm not, because for 2 years he had a bike where, and we talked about this before, where he could ride on the ragged edge and seemingly almost crashing constantly, but would always save it to win. But his bike can't do that anymore. It's like we said, at what point do you realize your bike can't do what you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, last year there were moments where he was riding at 105%, like definitively over the limit, and the bike just held it, and maybe he lost, maybe he passed the guy, maybe he lost a tenth, but now he does that, and he pushes hard to get past Iannone, and he tucks the front.
And he runs wide. Yeah,
or he pushes hard to stay up there on Lorenzo's tire, and the rear gets unsettled, and he runs into the gravel. Like, it's just, he has to ride 98% now. He can't do 105 at, every other corner anymore.
Right, but what I'm saying is that even if he has that realization prior to the race, come race time, that realization is out the window. That's
right, he's got to change.
That's my.
So that's probably true. He's simply not capable of doing it at this point in his career. But he's going to have to, because he doesn't have a bike that allows him to not do that. His bike did allow him to let all of that go out the window and win it or bin it, because the bike worked with his style, and he never binned it. But now, win it or bin it means binning it half the races and only winning once.
So do you think this is a mistake by Marquez, crashing, trying to get by Jorge? Because we've said before that Marquez doesn't really make the same mistake twice. Can it be a mistake if he did it on purpose?
Well, his exact quote is, "I made a mistake." In fact, and I quote, "I tried to give 100% of my home race, but I made a mistake trying to push too much."
Well, there you go.
Actually, I thought what he said was he was trying to ride as smooth as Lorenzo.
Bitch, I am reading it straight from MotoGP.com.
All right, fine. I'll concede to what you're reading.
Right. No, he crashed on the third lap. Like, dude, you got 3 laps in. You got a good start. You're up at the front. Settle in. See what's going on. Now, I get you got to rattle Lorenzo if you don't let him get away. But when you've crashed as much as you had, see what's happening first.
So my question now is: do you guys think that for the rest of the season, can he or can somebody get it to him to think that if you don't have the equipment calm down.
I mean,
I don't know. To me, it feels like it might take an injury, which I don't want to have happen. But he crashes a lot and he never gets hurt. At some point, like that's gonna run out too. Like his luck of not crashing ran out, and now his luck of crashing and not getting hurt at some point is just might be a gambler's fallacy of every time something happens, it gets harder, or it gets worse and worse chances. But he's gonna get hurt eventually.
yeah, I mean, I don't expect him to learn that much.
Someone fucking talk.
He will get hurt from it. I mean, he's gonna crash consistently if he keeps pushing like this, and he probably will get hurt. I mean, he's not Dani Pedrosa. I mean, he might be. Who has crashed a ton and not gotten hurt? Anyone?
Kind of. Actually, in recent memory, it's him.
Who?
In recent memory, it's Marquez.
No one really. I mean, Cal Crutchlow crashes a lot and doesn't seem to get any major injuries. He crashed a lot last year. He's crashing a lot this year.
Yeah. He screwed himself
and again, another guy on the Honda who's just crashing constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in this one, he was honestly surprised by losing the front there. Like when he crashed in France, like he made some mistake with his foot falling off the peg or whatever, but this time just lost it on the brakes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that Assen is going to be a very good race for Marquez. I think the Yamahas are going to go 1-2 again. So, like, already right off the bat, he just has to figure out, like, hey, am I okay with getting third?
Right.
And if I mean, that's going to be a bad race. Right after that is Sachsenring, which I actually don't remember who won Sachsenring last year, but I have a feeling that it won't really.
Well, he won the first 11 races, so.
Oh yeah, duh.
But I just mean, like, this is a different year. Last year he could do whatever he wanted because he was in such a perfect spot with the bike and the Yamaha was still kind of getting figured out. But this year he is going against a bike that's better. I don't think there's any question the Yamaha is better than the Honda, hands down. So sometimes you have to acquiesce that I need to get the best finish I can get because this is not a race I'm going to win. Like Rossi at Coda. Just get on the podium, you know what I mean? And then live to fight another day. And when you get to the tracks that suit you, make sure you win.
It's an interesting place to be in to learn that because I feel like everyone else on the grid has spent some time in the paddock where that's been the case, right? Where they just have not had the machinery to win. All the Ducatis, the satellite riders, like Rossi on the Duck, like Dani when he was injured, like everyone else has had periods in their career where there's been little hope that they were going to win. And yet Marquez, given his last 2 years, it hasn't really happened.
And then even in Moto 2, he was basically getting a suitor custom made for him to the detriment of everyone else. And he clearly had a bike that worked perfect for him. This is the first time in his career that he's really had a bike that not only isn't the best, it might not even be the second best.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if he was on the Ducati, he'd have a couple race wins. You know what I mean? I think the only reason Ducati hasn't quite won yet is they still have the best of the second tier.
Right.
I think there's no doubt in my mind that if he was on Ducati, he'd have 2 or 3 wins.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, Dovi has not really pushed forward hard enough yet to be that front runner, and I mean, the weekend is all about developing the bike and putting in good performances for the entire race. So yeah, I kind of think he'd have at least one. He definitely would have won at Qatar if he was on the Ducati.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so, I don't know. To me, I just see Rossi as doing this year like he's fucking handling it like a boss. He's letting everyone else let themselves fall away and see, what long straws are left, so to speak. And now it's just him and Jorge. Ducati or Dovi's kind of crashed himself out of contention. Marquez is crashing himself out of contention, and there's Rossi just making sure I'm on the podium every race and winning when I can.
That's a great segue. So speaking of Rossi and Lorenzo, Kevin, who has it for Assen?
Oh, Asen's a weird track. The rain with Jorge and his weird rain issues, and those cooler temperatures recently seeming to favor heavier, taller guys a couple of times. Spies, Simoncelli, Rossi when he won his first race back. It's hard for me to bet against Rossi. At the same time, Jorge's form is so ridiculous. He needs a knock off, something to knock his confidence. Someone hasn't won 5 races in a row. Marquez did it, and then Rossi did it in 2009, and before then, no one had done it since like 2003 or something like that. 5 races in a row is fucking ridiculous. It's hard for me to think he can do it just because of the statistics of 5 races in a row.
Well, let's say there is inclement weather in Assen. Do you guys really think that it would affect Jorge at this point?
He's openly admitted it.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Well, I'm asking because last year in Aragon he did bag a win when it rained, even though the Hondas crashed. But the point is, after the Aragon last year.
Yeah, there you go.
Aragon.
There you go.
Okay, so my point is, since the Assen incident in the rain and breaking his collarbone, he did bag a win at Aragon after that, and then he's on a string of a handful of wins. So confidence is right up there that even if there is inclement weather in Assen, I don't know. I'm not quite sure he'll be that much affected. Really.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know. If it's a rain race, it's hard for me to bet against Rossi.
Rob?
Yeah, I mean, with the form with Rossi being in consistently better form than he was last year, and Jorge will take a slight confidence hit no matter what, and we know he operates on confidence so much. Like, if it was dumping, I'm gonna bet on Rossi. But that's like,
if it's dumping, I'm betting on Rossi and Dovi, one of those two.
Oh man, that would be such a good race. But I don't know. I think Rossi has to win here at Assen to get the title, like just to get into Jorge's head a little bit and to kind of like pull 5 points back and keep the title fight going. Like, if Jorge wins it at a track that I feel like Rossi has usually done pretty good at. I mean, he got his first win back on the Yamaha at Assen, and I'm totally rooting for him to win there. Like, and
I think he's got to break up the string of wins.
Yeah.
I think he knows he's got to break up the string of wins. Otherwise, you start to get the feeling of invincibility that Jorge will get, and it's real. We don't know. Jorge's a confidence rider. If he's riding high, it's hard to beat him. Although Aston with the cooler temperatures that get out in front and push 90. I mean, there's a picture of him shoulder dragging in turn 2 last race. And with the cooler temperatures in that track, it's a little hard to push at that perfect pace the first lap. It could bite Jorge, or he could know that and have to back off a little bit and give guys time to get with him.
Yeah, it's funny because the temperatures seem to be playing a lot into like how the machinery works, right? Like,
right.
The Yamaha doesn't necessarily work all that well in the cool temps. Like, maybe they're not getting heat into the edge of the tire. And then once it warms up a little bit, they start doing better. And then the Hondas are kind of the opposite, but it's also changing track to track, depending on how good the grip is.
Right.
But it's funny that everyone is like analyzing that. I feel like they're doing it more this year than they have in previous years. But I don't know. I mean,
yeah, for me, it's the same thing with the cooler temperatures and that slightly reduced edge grip. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking that Jorge won't be able to do those first 5 turns at full race pace where everyone else has the initial couple turn warm up, simply because the track conditions aren't going to allow for it. And again, with the rain situation, that takes away his kind of weapon and his modus operandi right now of perfect, smooth, metronomic laps, because you can't put those metronome laps in if it's legit raining, like rain is falling consistently.
Oh, yeah.
Because the track conditions change from moment to moment.
Yeah,
you can't hit the same line, same exact way.
Yeah, it just does not work. It's like riding on a motocross track. It will change every single lap. And you hope that you can get that corner faster. Well,
so
I think the perfect like confidence sapping weekend for Jorge, the perfect weekend for Rossi will be Rossi on the front row, Rossi in front of Jorge into turn one, and then like a straight out just battle between the two for the race win.
Wait a
Right.
minute. Rossi on the front row is not a perfect weekend. That's a dream weekend for Rossi, all right?
Yeah, that is the trick. Because if you look at the race last time, he finished a second or so back, and he was running consistently the same speed and a couple faster at the end. He just had to. It's like Pol Espargaro. I'm like, just get the fuck out of the way, you asshole. You're ruining the race for everyone. You're another Spanish guy no one likes. Get out of the fucking way. You know what I mean? Like, you ruined that race, Espargaro or Asparagus or whatever. Like, you know, and you're going to get sacked anyway for probably some Brit from Moto 3. Like, get out of the way and let Rossi get up there.
Yeah, I mean, well, the second Rossi was behind him for 3 laps, it was just like, man, he's not going to be able to make this up. Like, this is going to be nuts. But
Right, that's the first thing I thought. At 5:30 in the fucking morning, and I'm like, I woke up for this?
That's dedication, Kevin. Dedication.
I had a naked chick in my bed, and I was like, hold on, bitch, I'm trying to see if Rossi wins. Get off my shit. And then, of course, he didn't win, and I'm like, all fucking down, and my junk doesn't work because I'm sad. It was not a good morning.
It turns out the woman was just a figment of your imagination. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
exactly. Right.
She was all decked
Wait,
out.
listen. So speaking of the Espargaro, because I was at the track all weekend, so I didn't even get to watch qualifying on Saturday morning. But let me tell you, when I finally found out qualifying results, never would have guessed that. Never.
Oh, you want to go?
Zook won too.
Bro.
Yeah, never would have guessed 1 and 2. That's crazy.
First time since like 95.
Somebody tell me what happened, as I don't know.
They put on the soft.
Fucking Vinales went Vinales, bro. I'm telling you, he's my guy.
Yeah. No, he.
So it was down to both riders, like.
Well, Jorge was in.
He just fucking Espargaro just put in a fucking haul ass of a lap. It was just they had, you know, their bikes were running good. They had a little more power. They were flowing, and with those soft tires, that bike handles like a dream, man. They just need power and a seamless transmission. That bike's on point.
Yeah, it was mostly the final sector for the Suzukis. Like, they were a quarter of a second up through the final sector just because, like, the fast flowing corners. Like, everyone now knows that the Suzuki corner speed is just bomb. Like, and there's no, I mean, once you get into turn 10 in Catalunya, there's really no hard braking for the rest of the corners. You just float through there. And even Jorge wasn't able to match their corner speed. So it was, yeah, it was like Jorge, for qualifying, Jorge was in front, like, after the first go. And then with that second soft tire, yeah, Vinales and Espargaro managed to really pull it out. And it was, yeah, that was one of the most exciting qualifying sessions of the year.
Well, yeah, I think people are honestly rooting for Suzuki this year, kind of the way they root for Ducati, where they're rooting for the brand. Like, people really want Suzuki to do well, and when they did well, it was legitimately exciting. I forgot that Rossi was abysmally qualifying again because I was so excited for just, you know, hoping Vinales was on that front row.
Rossi got 7th. That's like his go-to row, man. That's like a good qualifying for him.
Yeah, exactly. Third row, great.
Yeah.
But that made the turn 1 after the red light drop that much more heart-wrenching when they got swallowed up.
Oh, that was hideous.
Oh, I saw it long before they got to turn 1. It was just, the launch was appalling. And it's funny. Well, a quarter of the way through the race, they showed Espargaro's left hand, and he had the clutch all the way out, and then he grabbed it again and pulled it back in a little bit, and you just see like 1 or 2 bikes like pass him on the left side. It was just like, oh man, like, I have to wonder if it's electronics with the new motor or if it was just a shitty launch. But I mean, and you know, Vinales, he's a rookie. Like, he hasn't launched this powerful of a bike very many times. But Espargaro doesn't really have that many excuses, I have a feeling.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of not excuses and rookie and stuff, who's actually quite a bit ahead of points? Who's the leading Suzuki factory rider?
Yep. Your boy.
Really?
My boy, just like I said, he's gonna beat Espargaro in points. I claim that shit.
Which episode? Which episode? I want to go back on that.
It wouldn't matter because if I said which number, all the episodes are fucking numbered wrong by you guys. We started off, so who fucking knows?
Well, you gotta remember we have a 0.5 at some point too.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it worked out. Yeah, no, Vinales has 46 points and Aleix only has 31. So Aleix is
Right.
actually
Wow.
doing pretty bad because of those DNFs.
Yeah, 3 in a row is not a good look.
No. But I
Because
mean,
now what happens is now not only that, but Maverick has the best Suzuki finish. He's actually finished better than Aleix. He's got 6th. Aleix has never got his best finish is 7th.
yep. But I mean,
So he has equaled his best finish, and now he's surpassed it.
but I still think at this point though, like if it was silly season right now for the Suzuki boys, like there's no way that Aleix would not be re-signed. Like he
Well,
just
they're not going to not re-sign him. They've made the commitment to those 2 riders, and I think that Aleix's willingness to push so hard is one of the reasons they have him. Not just because they think he can get a podium or 2, but because that's how you make a bike better. You have a guy ride it to its maximum limit, and that's what Aleix Espargaro is doing. Now he's crashing too. He needs to know when to back off, but I think they expected him to crash. I actually think that they know that he was going to crash that bike a lot.
yeah, and then I agree. It's definitely helping them in the development to push that hard, and it's giving Vinales an amazing target, right? Because he's got
Yeah.
those lap times to go for, and it's like, hey, the bike is capable of this if I can ride it at 100%. And unfortunately,
Right. How do I put an
Espargaro-
optimal lap together?
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, and that's what all the rookies that come into GP, that's what they got to learn is they got to ride at 98% every single lap of the race. And Maverick seems to be, he's not too good at that at the start of the race, but the last 2, he's really been coming on strong towards the end of the races. And I
Yeah,
mean, that's
noticed
what's been
that.
helping in finishes. And he's strong without making mistakes, which is something that, Aleix is the exact opposite. He's a little stronger in the beginning, but then towards the end of the race, when he gets tired or when the tires fall off, that's when he starts making the mistakes, which is why he's crashing. So, I mean,
Yeah, and I think again, this race kind of reminded me of Qatar last year when he was on the forward Yamaha, where he got pole, and all of a sudden everyone's sort of expecting him. Like remember when Rossi said he was a threat for the win and shit, and that at Qatar, and everyone's kind of maybe thinking, oh, can he podium? He kind of gets so caught up in the results he feels he needs to get, when realistically just a solid top 5 would have been an amazing result. But
No.
again, he's riding around in 4th, and he crashes out.
no, but
Just
so,
get the 4th, man.
remember though, Aleix actually choked sooner than that, right? He was fastest in FP3 by like a huge margin, and then he choked in pole. He actually crashed, or in QP, he crashed twice in Q2, if I remember correctly.
Right.
He qualified 9th.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Right, at Qatar. You're talking about last year.
yeah, last year Qatar, like he caved to the pressure.
Big time, right. After leading like FP2 and 3.
Yeah. And I mean, it's awesome that he can make such good use of that soft tire. Like, I'm kind of surprised because the Ducatis were up there earlier this year with the soft tire, but they don't seem to be having the same sort of luck with, I mean, not luck with it, but they're not able to get the best out of it anymore.
What do you mean? They had pole position last race.
Yeah, but they're not, but both of them aren't up there. Like, I'm just expecting more, right? Like, we got 2 Suzukis on the front row. When was the last time that happened this year with the Ducatis?
I'm not sure offhand.
Let's see. QP2 didn't happen at Qatar. Well, close at Qatar, 1st and 4th. Then at Coda, it was a 2nd and a 7th. It's just there's just a lot of inconsistencies with the Ducatis. I mean, that might come from the fact that they're on like a freaking new bike.
Yeah, but so Suzuki.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, so 3rd and 6th at Argentina.
But I feel we're undercutting them a little bit. I mean, let's be real. Ducati's got a shitload of podiums this year. Suzuki's best thing is they had a guy qualify well. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I still question where the hell that came from. Everyone, all the technical guys seem to be saying that the lack of power is actually helping Suzuki out because the track is bumpy and slippery, so they're not spinning up as much.
Right, I forgot about that. They're basically saying that the other factors were having to cut power output significantly, especially in the first 3 gears, because they were spinning up and then pumping and not really getting good drive, whereas Suzuki wasn't needing to cut power because they were actually getting better grip coming out to begin with. So that was a huge part of their ability to flow through those corners, was they didn't have the reduction in power required to keep that tire driving instead of spinning.
Yeah.
So they were actually getting better throttle response and better engine response from the bike.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to go with it's the whole cutting power thing is bullshit. It's just they just have a better chassis and they can put more power down. Like, being underpowered is not helping them at all. Like, they just have a bomb chassis that's able to carry corner speed and get drive when there's not that much grip. But I mean, the whole order of things as far as how good the chassis are these years is totally thrown on its head. There was actually an article where someone said that the Yamaha was getting amazing drive compared to the Honda, and we haven't seen that in like 4 or 5 years. Like, that was the Honda's MO and has been until this year, was that they point into the corner, get it stopped, and go and drive out. It's nuts to see GP turn on its head like this, and it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that Yamaha's got, they're not only do they have almost every win, they have every win but one, that it's hard to imagine that they're not going to get the majority, Honda's not going to go on a big tear. I mean, Yamaha has the manufacturer, the constructor title basically locked up already, and Honda's battling with like Tech 3 for fucking, team and constructors points.
Yeah, they're behind. They're behind a satellite team. Like,
right.
Well, so
right. The team to spend $65 million a year on the bike, and they're in like third.
Okay, so both of you then, who do you think's going to win the next Honda win, the next RCV win?
Oh, I think it's Marquez, no doubt.
You don't like, so Dani, albeit, if Marquez wouldn't have crashed, Dani probably would not have beat him. But Dani's performance really wasn't that bad this past weekend.
Yeah, but again, to win, he has to beat the 2 of the 3 best riders on the grid on the best bike. I mean, Lorenzo and Rossi are both better than Pedrosa. Straight up, I don't think you can even argue that. So they're better than him, and they have a better bike. Marquez is the one on the Honda that has the talent that when he needs to is going to bring more out of the bike that can. And, that's going to happen. I have a hard time thinking Dani's even going to win a race this year.
Interesting. I mean, I would put Dani in for one towards the end of the season, like when Honda kind of gets their shit together. I think.
I think I said in the last episode that I kind of believed Pedrosa would have at least one win too, and I thought I remember the 2 of you didn't agree with me.
I don't remember.
I don't know. My opinion changes from moment to moment.
Yeah, we could be just.
It's just hard for me to.
As the race results.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, I mean, Dani wins one race every year at least. That's pretty much his thing, right? I don't think he's gone a single season without winning a race. So he's going to get his one race. But this year, with how good the Yamaha is, how good the Ducati is, and how bad the Honda appears to be, it's going to have to be a situation that really, really works into his favor. Let me put it this way. Not once when we throw our predictions out for who wins a race am I going to bet Pedrosa.
Okay, well, somebody has to, so I'm going to stick with mine that he will get a win, at least one win this season.
Yeah, he got one last year.
All right.
That was his lowest amount in the Premier class.
Right.
Yep. Oh, poor Dani.
I just think Dani's on a slow, steady decline. I said this last time. He'll probably get one. Something will work out for him. Everyone will crash. It'll rain. The situation will work out. But he's on a decline, and he's on a decline on a bike that's not as good. That's just not a winning formula.
So if everyone...
But can we just state for the record that when you say he's on the decline, you mean he's on the decline from the alien status? I know we don't use that term anymore, but not really in the decline like satellite.
I believe that Pedrosa is on a decline in terms of his position as a contender. He's never been a title winner, but he's for the most part been a title contender. You've always thought, if shit goes the right way, he might win it. This year, I just think that that's gone. He's gonna do well on occasion, but he's not the top 3 rider right now. He's not even a top 4 rider. Dovizioso is on a better overall package of rider and bike combination than Pedrosa is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good point.
So an interesting question is, are you saying that Dovizioso is actually a better rider than Pedrosa right now?
No, I'm not saying that Dovizioso is better than Pedrosa. There's no statistical evidence to say that. But I think the combination of the Ducati and Dovizioso with the concessions, the total situation that Dovizioso is in is an overall better package than what Dani's in.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to hear that that Dani has a significantly different chassis to Marquez, and they're both not working. Right, like, so we heard this last week that Marquez is on like a pretty stiff chassis to kind of help with his crazy corner entry, and Dani doesn't like it. It's a little bit softer. And they're still not working. So like Dani's
Marquez is on a 2014 chassis with a 2015 engine and swing arm.
Well, yeah, and look how well that worked out. Well, they didn't get
it's not working out at all.
They didn't get to test it nearly as much as they wanted to on Monday, so we'll kind of have to see. But yeah, I don't know actually if Dani also went back to that 2014 chassis. I mean, maybe
the reports that I read were that he tested, another chassis, not the one Marquez tested.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm
not saying Dan. Look, I like Dani. He's cool, and I think he's a lot funnier, more interesting than he got credit for a long time. And I think he's one of the better riders there's ever been. I just think that he's injuries, riding style passing him by. He's getting older, new generation, and the Honda's not working so well right now. It's just, I think that he's on a slow but steady decline from his position that he used to be in, where you could count on him to always be on the podium. And pretty much day in and day out, and then get a couple wins.
Yeah, and I mean, and your point to maybe him lucking out with everyone crashing out in those races. That's when Jorge, Rossi, Marquez, Iannone, and Dovi are all going to have to crash, or at least maybe 4 of the 5 are going to have to crash for Dani to have like a sure win. Because
right. Oh, by the way, not to cut off before we go, but speaking of crashing and blah, 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 the other reason Marquez needs to not crash is he'll do something. He's got 4 engines. He can't risk fucking another one up in a tip over or have something happen to it. Like, they actually tell him, you have to bring it home, because if you crash and damage it, you can't race. Or you're going to start from pit lane. You have no hope of winning.
Well, but he's already freaking started from way back in the grid. I don't think he'll care one bit.
I think starting from pit lane is different from starting on the grid. You're on the grid, even when you're in the back, you're going against someone, and you can be more ballsy than them. Starting from pit lane is everyone goes by and is up to speed, and now you go. It's totally different than just being the fucking insane animal on the start and taking risks no one should take.
Yeah, he won't be able to take out someone's brake lines if he starts from pit lane.
Right.
Wait, do you want to? Can I segue into Aprilia? Are you
yes.
Are you stoked? Are you stoked about?
I love Aprilia. Place? Right, Aprilia and Vinales in the top 10. I had a massive boner.
Dennis, what are your thoughts on Aprilia?
And speaking of changing opinions, that completely contradicts my earlier statement of my sadness at Rossi causing me to have a sleepy pee-pee.
Well, that happened earlier on in the race, and then you saw the Aprilia results, so it kind of sprung back to life, so to speak.
Correct.
Correct. Man, this chick hanging out with you, she must have been very confused.
She was most people are.
Yeah, she didn't know who Kevin was and where she was. That's why she was confused.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, Bautista's results have consistently improved. Well, he went from 1 point in the second round to now points for 4 in a row at a 10th place. And I mean, he definitely beat a couple of good riders. I mean, Yanni, Aleix crashed, Pole crashed, Cal crashed, Marquez and Dovey crashed. So maybe his 10th place would have been a little farther back. But that bike is definitely
But he
improving.
didn't crash. You know, I've never been a big fan of that other guy's crash, so you got gifted. He didn't crash.
Yeah.
And he didn't crash on a bike that he would have had to ride harder than them to try to maintain pace.
Yeah, and I think earlier in the season we were kind of saying that Aprilia was going to have to be battling with the Prati Hondas, and he's already beating them.
Right.
Like
we said, because that bike is continuing to improve. New chassis, new transmission. Like, Jack Miller is behind Bautista on points, but Jack Miller knows that's the bike he's got. It ain't getting any better.
Nope.
Not testing anything new. You're not getting a seamless transmission. That's what you have. You have a bike that's basically a street bike. The Aprilia is turning into a real MotoGP bike, and it's more prototype than the production bike is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like next year they're getting so much quality information now with Bautista actually pushing and racing the whole time that next year might actually work out kind of well for Aprilia, assuming they can get on with the new software that they're going to push in. But
right, I mean, Bautista's ahead of Stefan Bradl, so
everyone's ahead of Stefan Bradl. He finally had one.
Nope, Nicky Hayden, Eugene Laverty aren't.
Yeah. Stefan Bradl finally had one good result. Before that, he had what, 1 point? He
1/15th.
Yeah, and now he finished 8th. He got 8 points from that one finish, and now he's ahead of everyone else. He was in.
Right.
He would, if he hadn't got that finish, he would have been tied with Alex DeAngelis.
Right. Exactly. I just want to point out that Michele Pirro and Nicky Hayden are tied.
Ah, damn you. Actually,
I think I've pointed that out for like 2 races in a row.
Yeah. Well, it's because Nicky hasn't scored any points in 2 races. Eugene Laverty actually got that. So Honda did give a new swing arm to Nicky like 2 rounds ago, and then Eugene got it for this round. And in an interview, I think after the race, he said it was like Christmas Day, and that it actually helped the bike.
Right. And then he went and crashed out 2 races in a row.
Well, yeah. So Nicky did, but Eugene got his best finish ever. So that's pretty good to come in 12th, just behind Jack Miller. Oh man, so much awesomeness going on in GP, and now we have to talk about World Superbike.
Or Johnny Ray Superbikes.
Johnny Superbike, Ray Superbike.
By the way, I texted this to Rob and he didn't fucking respond. But there's like a gigantic Johnny Ray World Superbike billboard like 20 feet from my house.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, I have no idea because I live on like a country road and it's right there. Buy tickets, Mazda Laguna Seca Raceway. It's a giant billboard. It's like,
dude, they know where you live, bro.
They do. Straight up, they're stalking me. I thought I was off the grid, but fucking Obama stalked me down.
How is crazy. That good advertisement if you live in like a rural area? Like you live in a barn. How is this good advertisement?
I don't know. I'll get a picture of it and show you guys. It's got like there's like 8 foot tall grass in front of it. I don't know. It sounds about as smart as the rest of their marketing schemes.
Oh god. So I got to assume that Laguna did.
I think I'm gonna go. You know what? I think I'm gonna go steal it.
Wait.
I want it.
How big is this board?
It's a billboard, but I think I could. It's like a giant billboard, like a roadside billboard, right? Like. I said I think I could legitimately steal it.
Okay.
So,
nobody will even notice.
Yeah.
No one would notice, and I'm just gonna put it on my roof.
Oh my god, that would be so awesome. On your roof.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my new favorite thing about World Superbike is I want Johnny Ray to be 6 races ahead of someone else. I need that to happen.
Yeah, I mean that's all.
How long is it now?
Down to it's like, is Ray going to be able to pull a larger gap this race?
Right.
It's right now it's 330 points to 206.
Wow.
Right. It's so ridiculous.
So
and I love
124. So he's 1 point shy of 5 races.
Right. I need him to be 6 races up. I need to know that he can sit out 3 entire rounds and still be leading the title.
I mean, he can't win the title at Laguna Seca anymore. There's no way that's gonna happen, right? Let's see. So we got Mazzano, and then
For me to sleep soundly at night, I need 6 races ahead.
6. So if he does really good at Sepang, then that would be 6 races out. Oh my God.
All will be good in the world.
But would you continue to not watch?
Oh, I would so continue to not watch. You couldn't even get me to. There's no way you could have viewing habits.
Dennis, you watch the races, right?
I watched them, yeah.
Yeah. Did you at least enjoy the Johnny Ray show?
Well, we just can't seem to get what we've been wanting, which is the full-on, no holds barred fight between Sykes and Ray, because something always happens, mostly with Sykes. Like it's like he just has bad luck or bad juju this season for some reason. Like him and his
He needs to start
crew,
drinking his own pee in the morning.
he just can't. Him and his crew just they're still trying to make the bike, the new to them bike, with the new regulations, like really work like they did the previous iterations. It's taking them this long, and
It's weird though, because I thought we were gonna have a pretty good show in race 2, because I mean race 1 like started out kind of well. Like Ray helped Sykes out by crashing in qualifying and not qualifying that well. Like
yeah.
he definitely helped out. But yeah, then race 2 was okay, but then race 1 was okay, and then in race 2 Sykes, what did he do? He got a flat tire? And
Yeah, it was deflating right from the start, is what they assessed.
yeah, it's just like
Crazy.
they went from like they were so reliable last year, and just when things are going well, they're really going well, and for Sykes, when things are not going well, he just cannot catch a break, and yet the other garage,
Well,
the other half of the team is doing amazing. It's nuts.
yeah, I mean, I read an article that was just done just after this last race weekend, and really to Sykes and his crew, the current ZX-10R really is like an entirely new bike to them. Like he knew the first day that he rode that bike after the regulation changes that he wouldn't be able to do what he's been doing in the previous bike. Like they knew that right away, and it was like trouble from the get-go.
Wait, by doing what he previously done, do you mean losing the title, like when he should have won it?
Yeah, he can't even do that now.
Right.
He
Okay.
cannot even do that. Yeah.
What half?
Because Tom Sykes should straight up be a 3-time champion.
I agree. I've said that many times before too. That's what's so heartbreaking. Like to lose by a hair's breadth twice is crazy.
Right, and then lose to the fucking old ass dude who's coming back.
Are you
That's right.
excited,
That's right.
Am I excited for the Roman Emperor? No, because everyone knows that Romans aren't Italian.
And he's not gonna watch anyway. Biaggi's not gonna get Kevin to watch a World Superbike race.
Yeah, that was.
But realistically, that is the reason he's coming back. I gotta assume they're throwing him some money to get him to come out for a couple of wild cards. Is to work on the viewership. As much as everyone really loved Johnny Ray and kind of rooted for him, he was kind of the underdog that people wanted to root for. Now that he's kind of destroying the field and almost embarrassing everyone else, it's like, oh, okay, well, now there's not much to watch. Oh, wait, Biaggi's coming back, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, when you're 124 points ahead, you kind of lose that underdog status pretty quickly.
Right, exactly.
Well, and I mean, that Dorna looked at the viewership numbers from Phillip Island with Bayless there and stuff, and they were like, oh yeah, we got to try this again.
Right, because even in like World Superbike Mad England, the last round they had over there, they had like 12,000 people, some ridiculously small number, like almost kind of like embarrassingly small number for an area that's usually really supportive of World Superbike.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But so what you're saying, Kevin, is even the Roman Emperor coming back is not going to get you to watch the races.
No, I'll probably watch. I'll probably watch.
Maybe Ray will pull out ahead, and we'll get to watch the Biaggi for quite a few laps, because we actually didn't see that much of Bayless in the races that he was in.
Yeah, Bayless. I actually, I don't know if I'm going to throw out a challenge to you guys. Do you think he'll do better than Bayless did?
Oh,
Yes.
how good did
Only because Biaggi hasn't been off racing for as long as Bayless has.
Yeah, exactly.
and he's actually been testing the bike more consistently.
Right, and it's the bike he rode, and that Aprilia is good, and we know it. The Panigale there was still questions about how good it really was, but we know the Aprilia is good, and you know that it's a solid machine that he's been testing and riding consistently, and it's only been a few years away.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to win, but I actually wouldn't be surprised if he podiumed. I don't think he will, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
There are a lot of guys that you have to beat the podium. I mean, yeah, I agree that Biaggi will do better than Bayless. Bayless got a 9th. That's not really like you used to be a champion finish. You're an old guy and you finished.
Right.
Yeah, Biaggi. I mean, Biaggi probably, like, I'd say his best finish would maybe be like 4th or 5th. I don't know if he's gonna.
A top 5.
Yeah, top 5. There's too many guys in front of him that are gonna have to have a bad day. Like, do you think he's gonna beat Torres?
We know one of those guys isn't Jordi Torres.
Wait, no, they got rid of Terol. You think he's
Terol? Yeah, Nico. Excuse me. Whatever. That Spanish guy with a T from Moto2 that no one likes.
Yeah, the one that no one likes. Everyone likes Torres.
Yeah.
Nico
Terol looks like he needs to fart. I feel like he's been holding a fart in for 18 months. And that's like the source of his problems. Is he's got a serious fart building up. He just got to let it out.
He's still.
I think this episode just jumped the shark.
Right. All you listeners, pause this and Google Nico Terol and look at his face. Do not argue with me that he doesn't look like he needs to fart. He looks like he needs to rip a good one.
You're so compelling. I'm actually looking it up right now.
Look at his face. He needs to fart.
That's crazy.
All right, so typing into Google Nico Terol needs to fart does not bring up good web pages, but
no, you're not really typing to fart. Just to
look at his Wikipedia page.
You're right, Kevin. You're right.
Yeah, you're totally right.
That's crazy.
No, on my Google image search, the 5th photo is by far Nico Terol needs to fart.
Right. We need to have that trending. Why is that not all you listeners, all 17 of you, get that trending. Nico Terol has to fart.
I just downloaded the image for you, so we'll put that in the slideshow. If there's a slideshow. Oh man. But okay, so is Biaggi gonna be able to beat Torres? I don't think he's gonna be able to beat Haslam for sure. But do you think he can beat Torres?
Yes.
At a track that Torres already knows.
Well, it's not like fucking Biaggi doesn't know the tracks.
No, I know, but Torres' results have been consistently worse at tracks that he doesn't know, except for Imola for some ungodly reason. But the last two, and in Portugal, he didn't do as well as I had hoped.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Biaggi might even at least once do better than Haslam.
Yes, I'm going to go with that too. Haslam's inconsistent. He does really well and then he doesn't. He's never been he's never gotten to the level that he should have.
Dude, he got a freaking podium at Portugal with 3 broken ribs.
I'm talking about overall, bro. I don't give a fuck about his broken ribs. Win some races once in a while.
Well, I mean, he only has 1 retirement and 1 12th place. The rest of his finishes are 4th or better. Like, this is probably his most consistent year, other than the year that he the year that he was fighting for the championship. Almost 2010.
Yeah. Which were just basically, him trying to consistent himself through. Get some wins, bump it up, take the next step. He's just been kind of that guy for a while. There's 24 fucking ribs in the human body anyway. So the dude had 21 extra spare. I mean, big deal. Cry me a river.
You need to ride a bike with some broken ribs and tell me how it is. Well, yeah, I already know how it is. It's not fun.
Whatever. Fucking Haslam's mom can ride his dick with some broken ribs.
Oh man. All right, guys. You got anything else you want to talk about? We already got a lot of content going on here. It's gonna make
Not
for
me.
some good editing.
All right, predictions for Aston. What? Give me the podium.
You start.
Yeah, tech guru.
Uh, um, Rossi, Jorge, Pedrosa.
All right.
Ooh,
Way to go
I
out
was
on
gonna
a
say
limb.
the same thing.
Dennis, are you copying me?
I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say my surprise was gonna be Pedrosa on the podium, but that was effectively gonna be my order too.
All right.
Right.
I stole your idea. Kevin?
Yeah, I actually think I got to go with the exact same thing.
God, way to agree, guys. The.
Wait a minute, is this like a dry race prediction or like just whatever?
All right, fuck it. Petrucci in second.
Dude, they need to put him back on the pre-race press conference. That was.
Dude's entertaining as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, he is so happy to be there. Like, and I mean, he's a police
Well,
officer.
think about it, man. Like, talk about like we talked about like how Marquez was never on like anything but the best bike. Petrucci was on like
Yeah.
the fucking consistently worst bike on the grid, and they're like, here, ride this Ducati. It's got power and actually can go. Like, imagine how sweet that is. Like, he was an also ran who was lucky just to be there, and now he gets consistent top tens the year later.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's on the same level of points as Pedrosa. He's beating Espargaro, Scott Redding, Hernandez. Like,
He's beating Scott Redding. He's beating a team that has twice the money of his shitty satellite team on a year-old bike that wasn't very good. You know what I mean? I mean, help a brother out.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't very good. He's on like the
And
fourth.
by brother, I mean tan Italian.
Petrucci, I feel like is your new Michele Piro. Like he's just,
Well,
huh?
yeah, my irrational love for him, exactly.
It's. Oh, that's perfect. All right, on that note, I think we're gonna call it here. Um, we got our predictions in. Do you wanna, Dennis, predictions for winners for World Superbike?
Johnny Ray.
I didn't ask you. Kevin.
Pretty
You're not
much.
first anyway.
I want Ray to sit the round out just to troll his people. Like, I want him to sit it out and just get them so mad and be like, yes, let the hate flow through you. Like, become the emperor of World Superbike.
Dude, he's not Matt Mladen. That will never happen. It will
Matt
never.
Bladden answered the door to his motorhome with a boner once, and he tweeted about it.
Myth.
Wait,
That's
wait,
not a myth. He tweeted it.
wait,
That's
wait, wait,
myth.
And everything on Twitter is true.
wait. That
He was
happened.
just
That
joking
happened
about
after
it.
Twitter existed.
It happened during Twitter's back when Twitter still gave you a cell phone text message.
Oh my God. All right, whatever. Dennis, I didn't hear you. Are you going?
He's right. It's Johnny Ray. But actually, I don't want him to sit out. I would love to see him start from the back of the grid and see what he can do from there.
Right. Look at you jump ship like a fair weather fan. You probably suddenly love the Warriors too. Last year Tom Sykes was your fucking homie, and now you're like, oh, I want to see Johnny Ray start from the back of the grid and embarrass everyone. Blah 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 blah. You probably just found out who Stephen Curry is.
What?
Whatever. It's
Sure.
Zana, right? It's a race.
No, I mean, you can't not bet on Ray, of course, and I think if Sykes and his crew definitely make one more step towards getting that bike sport and getting to work with Sykes, then maybe it'd be closer. But even then, if I was a betting man, I'd still bet on Johnny Ray.
Well,
Is
I
there a wall in that garage?
not like a Rossi Jorge wall.
I mean, why can't Tom Sykes' crew just be like, hey assholes, tell us what's working on the bike?
But Johnny Ray can just ride anything. Like he got race wins on the Honda.
I
Like,
guess that's true.
I don't think Ray's data will help Sykes one bit because Sykes is not that sort of rider where he just pulls awesome results out of his ass. Like he builds up to things. So But I don't know. I think that Sykes' team will keep the tire inflated and they will win one.
Right. Tire inflation is key.
Tire inflation. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. And we will probably catch you, probably not after the World Superbike race, but after Assen at GP. And yeah,
Right.
we'll talk to you then. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Later.